Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, all right? Get comfortable. Relax, relate, release, kick up your feet, all right? Child, you are now in the den, okay? And this is my review recap for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Mind your business, all right? Mind your business. Season 2, Episode 2. Baby, let me tell y'all, I went into this episode wanting to know 3 things, okay? One, was Detective Howard and Rock gonna get right to business, okay? Was we gonna have to wait a long time? What was he gonna say to her? What was she gonna say to him? 2, what was Unique gonna be doing now that he is free in these streets? 3, is Scrappy a damn snitch? And I feel like I only got 2 1/3, 2 1/2 of my answers here. And I'm kind of in my feelings like, what? Y'all, I had a soft spot for Scrappy. I liked Scrappy, yo. Scrappy was down. Scrappy was a real G. Scrappy was holding it down. Even in the end, even though he didn't care that much for Kanan, he learned to respect him and he came through and he helped at the end. So I'm kind of in my feelings, y'all. Stuff don't sit right with me. I don't feel 100% sure that Scrappy was a snitch, y'all. I don't. And I need to know. Like, put it in the comments. What are y'all thinking? Do y'all really think he was the snitch or was his mama the snitch? What is the truth? But God, let's go ahead and get into this episode, y'all. Let us just go ahead and get into this episode. So, we hearing, of course, Kanan got to narrate, all right? And he says, one thing you don't want to do is sit around and take a victory lap and get too comfortable because you ain't never safe out here, all right? Somebody is always watching. Somebody is always there. And we get right into this conversation. Of course, at first, Detective Howard want to make small talk, talking about, cigarettes ain't good for you. You may want to go ahead and give those up. She said, if my memory serves me right, you gave me my first cigarette, okay? So I guess you can't really be out here talking and saying how, I need to stop things that you helped me start. I said, okay, Rock, fair point, but let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's not have these small conversations. And so he basically says, you know what I mean? All right, one of my many mistakes. I done made a whole lot of those. And she's like, what do you want, detective? And he's like, well, I can't lie, Rock. Okay, he starts to tell her about how he thought he was dead, all right? He was laying there bleeding out and his life flashed before his eyes, baby, okay? That shit is real. He thought he was done. And so he's like, it really got him to thinking, there's a lot of stuff that he got to fix, a lot of stuff he got to change, that he can't be doing no more. He did not like what he saw, not at all. And he says, he made a deal with God, if he survived and he let him live, that he was going to right his wrongs. And so he basically was like, the kid, you know what I'm saying? He can't shoot for shit, baby. So we know, and I think we knew, that Detective Howard remembers everything. He knows that Kanan shot him, and he knows that he's his son, and he's going to try to protect him because of the fact that he's his son. But now, Detective Howard, I need you to be smarter, baby. If you already got shot and you know Rock was behind it, why would you go to her and let her know that you remember everything? That's like when you telling a kid don't touch the stove because they going to get burned and they touch it anyway and it burns them and then they going to go back to let it burn them again. I feel like you messed up there, Detective Howard. I feel like maybe, you're not as smart as you should be, honey. Maybe that bullet and that surgery and that near-death experience is making you really lose your mind even more, because why would you go tell Rock all of this? What do you think her next move is going to be? But nonetheless, let's carry on. And so, he go and he sit down after he says the son, just leaves her standing there with the cigarette in her hand, okay, for her to think on that for a minute. We then see Kanan watching this movie, and he looking all emotional, holding on to this pillow or whatever the case may be. And Juke looks over at him and starts laughing and basically was like, dag, man, you still over here crying over Crochet again. He was like, that's one thing I like about you, okay? Don't lose that. That's the best part about you, Kane. And she was telling him that, the part that cares or whatever. And she was like, don't ever lose that. Don't ever let nobody take that from you. And that was interesting to see, right? And he's telling her it's just a movie or whatever, right? And then she still keeps teasing him like, you crying ass bitch. And he starts coming back at her like, yo, I'll beat the mess out of you, And then they start having, a pillow fight. And again, like I said, just knowing where they ended up, right? And the fact that he definitely did lose that about him, Juke, okay? But to see them there innocent and play fighting with the pillows and her just saying like, of all the things about you, don't lose that part that's so caring, right? And we definitely do not know her caring Kanan as an adult. So, of course, excuse me, the biggest thing that I still want to know, and I think we all want to know and are waiting to see, when is this change going to happen and what is going to be, the capitalist that causes the change, right, between both him and Juke, right? So that I'm waiting on that patiently, honey, because we know that he definitely does change. And so getting back to this conversation with Detective Howard and Rock, he's basically letting her know, like, I know everything that happened. I know what he did. He was like, what I want to know and what I wanted to know all along, or what I wanted Kanan to know, was that I'm his father, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, she gonna talk about something. She had a gang of admirers back in the day, so she don't know who the daddy is, right? Rock out here still trying to play games. So now you gonna say you was tossing it everywhere, so anybody could be the pappy, okay? But, he lets her know he knows she bullshitting with that too. He was like, she gonna talk about the truth is, it could be anybody. He was like, truth, you gotta know the meaning of the word before you use it, Rock, all right? And he was letting her know, like, first of all, the night that Kanan came in for the fight or whatever the case may be, he was leaking. And, I had the lab run that shit on the low. So I already know that I have a paternity match, and it's 99.9, baby, okay, that I am the father. That's how I knew it was his father in the first place. And he passed her, the results. And he's like, you could bullshit me, but you can't bullshit in science, Raquel. And again, I'm saying, Detective Howard, you are running your damn mouth too much. Why would you go and let her know that you ran a test and give her the results and all of this? You're acting like you're talking to a rational human being that's just gonna be like, oh, okay, well, he knows already anyway, so I might as well just go ahead with it. And you know what I mean? Be nice and let him introduce him to Kanan and let us all be, one big happy co-parenting family. And you're not getting that with Rock, so why are you sitting here doing this? I'm like, does he have some other plan that we are not seeing right now? Because this plan stinks in Detective Howard, okay? This is not gonna get anything done with Rock, in my opinion. And so she takes the paper, but she's just basically, throwing it down. And she's like, fuck you and your science, okay? And then he tells her, he's not built for this. He was like, the night that he came to shoot him, he saw it in his eyes, okay? Again, somebody else that's telling her that damn Kanan ain't built for this. But Rock gonna go out her way, okay, to build him this way, okay? So, he's like, the game is not for him or whatever, right? And then he was like, I'm not gonna knock Kanan for popping me. Actually, I deserve what happened that night. And so, you could see, like, I don't think Rock really knew how to take that part. But, he says divine justice and shit, right? And he's basically like, I made a mistake by not telling him before. I wanted you to tell him because I felt like it would be better coming from you first. But he's like, I won't make that mistake again. And so he was like, now I'm going to tell him my damn self, man to man, father to son. I said, you know what, Detective Howard, You don't even deserve to have lived through all of this and got a new damn donor for you to turn around and really come and tell Rock this shit. I'm just saying, because you're not using your brain. So she basically was like, I'm going home. So now he goes into, somebody's telling Rock, he's like, you got a snitch on your hands. And so then she stops in her track again. And he basically says, is that One-Eyed Jack. And she like, Scrappy? He said he's working with us. I saw him sitting with a detective at the precinct the other night. And she's like, that's bullshit. And he's like, that's real shit. And I'm only telling you because I want to look out for our son. Other than that, I wouldn't care. And he was like, that's what parents do. And so she was like, yeah. And she was like, and then he's still yelling after her as she walking away. Kanan about to know, Rock. Kanan about to know. I'm like, that was your big plan, Detective Howard? Okay. So, now at this point, we seeing Kanan coming knocking at this door. Apparently, he's at Famous' house. He's asking about Famous, and his sister's like, maybe you could wake him up or whatever, because my mother about to come here and beat his ass. He's in, if he don't get this skeezer out the house. Now, Famous is in the room with some chick. I mean, he's knocked out. All this yelling and screaming they doing. Kanan is like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. You know what I'm saying? He's screaming his name. He's not waking up. Apparently, he haven't been waking up for Jessica all this time. He basically ends up having to pinch his nipple, and that's what gets him up. He jumps up talking about, ow, really? What the hell? He's like, you over here squeezing my nipples and shit. He's like, yeah, well, your mother says your sister's on the way, and you gonna be in trouble. The sister's telling him, yeah, she gonna get in your ass. This bitch gotta go. They can't seem to wake her up either. So Kanan is like, really? I go away for 3 months and you switching up, getting laid and, getting high and knocked out in here and all of that. And Famous says 3 months is a long time, man. But I'm saying, is Famous doing some other stuff besides weed? Because we don't be having you all with all of this that I know of. I don't know what kind of weed he have, okay? Is Famous hitting that rock? Especially with what the mother says to him later when she does get there. That is my question. And so now he's trying to basically get the chick up. He don't even know her damn name. They basically like, so you just bringing home random white girls. You don't know their names or nothing. He talking about, well, I know that she was from NYU. And, the sister was like, well, NYU got hoes too, or whatever the case may be, right? But when it's all said and done, he's too late. They moving too slow, and Mama done already walked up, and now she's pissed and she's cursing him out. The door's already open, and he tried to hurry up and throw stuff on. Too late, you snooze, you lose, right? And so now she walks up and she sees, and she's like, you gotta be kidding me. You bringing whores in my house? I don't want no whores in my house. You know what I'm saying? That's unacceptable. He's talking about she's from NYU, and, she had got locked out her dorm. I was just trying to help her. I didn't want her to sleep on the street. And the mom is telling him she's tired of his lies. She's tired of his bullshit. And he's also a thief. She knows that he stole money to buy her drugs. And this is why I question, is Famous using some other stuff out here? And so Mama is over it. She's telling him she wants him out. He's like, where am I supposed to go? She like, I don't give a damn where you go, but I know it's not going to be here. I don't care. And so he was like, really, you just gonna kick your own son out? No second chances, no nothing. And, Mama, I guess it's like hell to the year. You done had all the chances you gonna have. So we see Marvin sitting inside this meeting, right? And basically the counselor's going over, what are triggers, right? What are some of the things that trigger you? What are we doing to, change that? What makes us angry and all of that kind of stuff. Now, Marvin is sitting up here with a daggone bag of chips, y'all. Just looking at the bag of chips, acting like he reading the back, popping one in after another. And so this one guy is saying that when somebody ignores him, that's his trigger, right? That pisses him off. Another lady is saying when she's lied to, that gets her pissed off, even if it's her kids. And the counselor's basically saying, we have to challenge ourselves and learn how to deal with the anger. It's normal to get angry about somebody lying to you, right? And she's like, everybody here, that anger is not the problem, but it's basically, because everybody get angry, but it's, how we manage it, right? And how we challenge ourselves. And so she's like, and what about you, Marvin? And he looking, and she like, yeah, you. And so he's basically like, what about me, you know? And he was like, I don't get angry and I don't have no triggers. I'm straight, right? I'm good, according to him. And so the guy says, the same one that was saying he hate being ignored, he was like, if you was good, then you wouldn't be here. And then Marvin says to him, you know, I'm ignoring you, Joe. I love ignoring you because it gets underneath you. He was like, you know, I'm still ignoring you. I ain't seeing you. So the guy jumps up like, I'll beat your ass right fucking now. And Marvin was like, yeah, I'd like to see you try. And so of course the counselor's like, all right, everybody calm down. That's enough of that. Don't lose our heads here. And she tells Marvin, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and basically, you know, give you a break right now, whatever the case may be, right? I'm going to let you go with this one today. But, you know what I'm saying, you are definitely still going to, you know, owe me. You're not off the hook. So I said, ooh, you done made the counselor mad, right? She's like, not by a long shot. So you have Juke asking Rock if she remembers her mom, and she's like, of course she does. You know, Rock had came in there asking about if she's seen Kanan or not. And she's like, I think he's out somewhere famous. And she was like, well, let him know I'm looking for him when he gets home. So she basically was saying, like, you know, like wanting to know why her mom left, what happened, right? And Rock was saying that, listen, you know, being a mom is not for everybody. It comes with great responsibility. It's a hard job. She was like, shoot, it's a piece of me that kind of admires her a little bit that she left. And Juke is saying not, she don't, you know what I'm saying? She ain't admiring her for it. She's like, oh, so she just up and left because, you know, it was too hard of a job. And she was like, well, yeah, sometimes it is for some people, right? But when Juke says that she doesn't admire her for it, then Rock all of a sudden is basically like if she snapped out of what she was feeling or thinking for a minute. And she was saying, yeah, she don't either, right? And so Nicole parents is back at this precinct, y'all. Nicole mother, I should say more specifically, is back at this precinct. She basically wants to know why Detective Burke never arrested Juke, right? She's still blaming her for, you know, her daughter dying, and she's still basically trying to get Laverne, okay, arrested. And Detective Burke is saying they had no type of evidence, you know what I'm saying, that can suggest or prove that she freaking did that, right? And then the lieutenant captain, whatever he is, he basically was agreeing, saying, look, miss, we investigated this, you know, we went hard on this for months or whatever, and there's nothing that shows that, you know, it was any type of foul play other than Nicole taking these drugs herself and just basically having a bad batch. You know, Nicole mother want to talk about, oh, well, she showed her how to use the drugs. She gave her the drugs and all of this stuff. She was like, it's no different than pointing a loaded gun at my daughter's head. So like I said, he's telling her there's no evidence to suggest this. And then the representative that was there, she was like asking him, well, what does the mayor say? And he was like, look, the mayor just basically wanted me to sit here. He doesn't have an opinion on this. He says that you and your husband are associates of his, you know, acquaintances of his, and he simply wanted him to observe the proceedings. So you know she mad. She big mad right now, okay? So now she wants Detective Burke fired. And she was saying she should not be a police officer. And again, you know, he's saying that this type of stuff unfortunately can happen, but he assures her that no officer would protect a suspect in a murder case. Okay, the only reason why she's not arrested is because there's no reason to arrest her. So she tells them they all have her daughter's blood on their hands, and she go walking out. So now when it's Burke and the you know, captain in there by themselves or whatever, she's like basically telling him, thank you for having my back, captain. And he tells her, look, I'm looking out for the department, not you. If it was up to me, your ass would have been out. You should have never stuck your nose in this in the first place. And now I'm sitting here from where I'm sitting. It looks like you fucked everything up. So he's like, get the hell out of my office. Go. Okay. So Burke needs to sit her behind down. All right. She is always team doing too damn much. You know, now you got Rock and Marvin and Lou talking about the Scrappy situation and what she heard. He's saying there's no way Scrappy was in no damn precinct. This is what Lou is saying. He don't believe it. He's been down for him. You know, he's been there with them from the beginning, like I said. And, you know, he lost the eye for them. He shed blood for them. He's been down for them. So he was like, I just don't see it. You know, Marvin having different jokes because she was like, come on, how many one-eyed guys is it out here in Queens? And Marvin want to talk about what we had, you know, our Uncle Tyler or whatever. And Rock is like, yeah, well, Uncle early Tyler is 100 years old and in a wheelchair, okay, with all different kind of complications. He can't feel on his left side and all of this. And Marvin talking about some, well, actually it's coming back to, a little bit. Of course, Marvin got to be Marvin at all times. And she just looking at Lou like, because he's still going on, and his lips is moving a little bit. And he's able to move the left side a little bit and all of this stuff. And so Lou, like I said, is saying point blank period, Scrap is not no snitch. And so, Marvin starts to say, well, with everything that's going on, maybe he is actually pissed about that. And maybe that's even more reason why he would be out here saying stuff. Rock is saying, we're not going to make no decisions right this minute, right? She wants Marvin to go talk to him, fill him out, and see what he says. Marvin is like, okay. So we see that we hearing somebody knocking at the door. Okay, so Rock is still planning on going ahead with these plans she had, and Warrell comes walking in. He's talking about, my mama know where I'm at. So if anything happened to me, and Rock is basically like, nigga, sit your ass down, okay? If we wanted you dead, then you would be dead. That part was funny to me. I don't care. So, Kanan basically is telling Famous at this point, because now he homeless out on the street with his mixtapes, okay? He's like, if I could let you stay with me, I would, but my mom is not trying to go for that. She don't let nobody stay at the house but family. Famous is saying that's okay, but he's basically trying to ask Kanan if he will come and help him sell his mixtapes. He's like, I don't got no other choice. I don't want to just be out here, sleeping on trains. So basically, Kanan says, yeah. Now, in the meantime, Warrell is like, why would y'all want to mess with me? And why would I want to mess with y'all? Of course, with Rock is always the biggest picture. She just wants to know that, she gonna have more people for her organization, and she's shutting Unique down on all corners. So she's telling him the corners is dead, Unique is dead, right? Marvin says deader than dead. Dean is not going to be messing with him no more. Nobody's not going to be messing with him no more. So right now is about them all making money. She does know he's smart, and she does know that he has something to add to it, and they can make big money together. So it's just a matter of whether he's down with it or not, right? And whether he can do the job or not. And so she was like, nobody's going to fuck with him. He is going to be basically out in the cold. And so Morrell was like, y'all still didn't answer my question. With all the history we got, and all the history is bad, why would y'all want to mess with me? And she tells him he's going to be underneath Lou, at the 40s or whatever. And Warrell turns around to Lou and was like, and you would be good with that? And Lou basically says, listen, nigga, we ain't dating, we working. Okay? So he just looking at him, I guess, trying to fill it out, trying to see if he's, serious about that already, right? And so now we have, Kanan and Famous is still out here trying to get these damn tapes out the studio. And Lou walks in, and sees them. And Kanan basically was, saying what's up to him or whatever, and was like, yo, we was trying to get some of these tapes. So Lou tells Famous he could have all of them. He was like, at this point, he done wrote them off anyway. So Famous is like, word. But he tells him like, yo, I was telling your sister, if you get serious and you write up some more stuff, I don't mind working with you, all right? But he got this new person that he gonna be working with. And he's like, they was even telling him like, he would give him a cut too. But like I said, Lou's like, don't even worry about that because I already wrote it off. But he's telling Famous, if you get real and you bring me some new material, then I definitely don't mind putting you on. You need some new flows, and you need to stop smoking weed, Put something down on paper, get something real, and I would go ahead and put you back in the studio. So Famous is like, word, and he's like, word. So, they go ahead about his day business or whatever. So now, Rock comes to the store or whatever, and she sees that they got a rat problem, and the rat is eating up the damn money in the boxes, y'all. Okay, Rock got a whole bunch of boxes of money up in the store. And so she tells Juliana to throw out, the money that's ate up and put some more traps down. And Juliana's like, I'm going to have to be changing those, every minute. Like, what the heck is the point of that? I will have to change it like 10 times a day. So she tells her, well, get a damn exterminator up in there. And she is like, why are you just sitting around holding these boxes? You got all this money that's sitting here. She said, me, she was telling her, why don't you spend it? She was like, I save money to buy a home, for my family and my country, sending money back. And you're saving money to be eaten by rats. And so, you know, Rock just looked back at her and again says, get the exterminator out here, okay? She don't want no damn advice for her, but at the end of the day, I know she knows that she's speaking the truth. So when she's leaving out, she's basically seeing that Unique's girl, baby mama, whatever, is there in the store, and they both kind of, you know, looking at each other or whatever, right? And so I'm like, Now, Scrappy is checking out, you know, the people that's doing this work or whatever, making sure everything is right. And Marvin comes in and is basically asking him, you know, where he was, and says that they couldn't reach him. Now, Scrappy tells them he was helping his peoples in Corona, right? And he was like, oh, okay. Now, of course, he starts making jokes. You only got one eye because, you know, Scrappy claimed he was helping them with hanging stuff. And he was like, how the hell do you see to hang? And he was like, you should have called us and let us know. So all of a sudden Scrappy flips it and was like, well, you should have, why would y'all need to, you know, why was y'all calling me? Y'all should have called y'all new guy, Worrell. Of course, he already knows about it. And he was like, you know, of course, this is out in the streets. We all know, right? Y'all in the bed with the same nigga that was trying to basically, you know, kill y'all, and that y'all was trying to kill. And so he was like, you know, and y'all cut me out or whatever the case may be and took him over us. And so Marvin is saying, uh-oh, somebody's in their feelings. And Scrappy's like, nah, I'm not in my feelings, Marvin. This ain't about feelings. He was like, shit was bad enough when Kanan came in, but I made peace with that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, that's Rock's kid. And to be honest, I actually like the little nigga. But y'all giving the 40 projects to some guy from Unique's, you know what I'm saying, crew over me when I've been down with y'all since I was 14. Yeah, that part got me pissed off. I've been begging, I've been hustling, you know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all needed done, I got it done. So he was like, you know, that don't make no damn sense that y'all would go over me. You know how much I did for y'all. So he was like, and you right, it's not easy hanging pictures with one eye. It's not easy tying my shoes. It's not easy, you know what I'm saying, being able to make moves. It's not easy seeing string signs. It's not easy doing nothing with one eye. And after all the stuff that I gave y'all and still came back, you know, swinging, y'all passed me up for Neek's guy. Like, come on. And so Marvin talking about something, so you was hanging pictures out in Corona, like, for who? And he was like, well, why are you so worried about it? What difference does it make? Because he was like, I didn't even know you had peoples out there. So now Scrappy tells him for his cousin Ebony, like I said, why does it matter? And he was like, it don't matter. I'm just asking. Right then, Scrappy should have known something else was going on here and that they not going to come just asking these questions just to ask. And my thing is, Scrappy, the same way you like, oh, the word is out here in the street and, you know, the streets be talking and we going to know that y'all was messing with, you know, Worrell fast. Common sense should have told you that they knew that your mom's house got raided and that there was an arrest there. You at least should have been honest with that part of it, in my opinion. And when you didn't, that's when you messed up. And you knowing rocking them and being around them as long as you did, they caught you slipping, right? And so then we see in, you know, Rock is over here at this daggone, you know, bank. Look like she looking into some houses and stuff, like a real estate place or whatever. And, you know, they're telling her about one spot, but she's like, what about Forest Hills? What about Douglaston? What about Little Neck? You know, she's ready to kind of look into some places, right? And I don't know if this is something she was already thinking about or if she started thinking about it because of the fact that, you know, the girl at the store started telling her like about her saving money for a house and all of that, and she just sitting here with a whole bunch of money in boxes. So at first the lady was trying to throw a little shade. She talking about, oh, those prices is higher. Rock was like, and what? You think I can't afford them? She like, oh no, of course not. I'm not saying that or whatever, but sometimes buyers don't understand that they got to have strong credit. You know, you got to be able to have a pre-approval for mortgage and all of this stuff. So she was like, I'm paying straight cash. So the lady was like, oh, wonderful. She was like, well, you still would need, you know what I'm saying, just to be clear, proof of income, the last 2 years of tax returns, and some bank statements. Rock said, I got all that. Okay. And she was like, oh, okay. And she basically walked out and was like, you just make sure you find me a spot in one of them pricier neighborhoods you talking about. Okay. And she walked out and left the lady with egg on her face. And so we still seeing Juke looking at these pictures. She's still in her feelings about her mama and is looking like she's probably going to call Detective Burke up to find out where she's at because she was looking at, her card too. Now we got Marvin. He go over here and actually look for the cousin Ebony house. Now I don't know how he found out exactly the exact Ebony, okay, and the exact Corona, but he does. First he's saying he a handyman and if she should need any help with hanging anything. She wasn't buying it because she was like, what handyman, dressed like you? She said she don't talk to friends, she don't talk to family, and she haven't hung no picture up, okay, since her Michael Jackson poster. But he was like, if you do just so happen to need anything, like, let me know. And she was like, well, how I'm supposed to let you know that when you didn't leave no card or nothing? And then when he was going and getting back in the car, she was like, now what damn, handyman drives a Lexus? But girl, you out here giving your business out to strangers you don't damn know, okay? And so Lulo was basically playing this record for Camacho. Camacho not feeling it. He talking about is a democracy, is a partnership. They both got to agree to sign her, and he don't see it. He's not hearing it. He was like, we both got to go in on this. And Lulu was saying, look, I'm the one that's financing most of the money. So this democracy, my vote counts more than yours, correct? And at the end of the day, he does see it. So now we get this guy walking in, right? And we are introduced to him, Mr. Hollywood, okay, from Queen Sugar. But of here, he is basically Carter Fareed. And apparently he is a shooting star, okay? He is doing big things. He is, the big, bright man that is music, art, uptown, downtown, okay? His money is so clean, you could eat off that shit, all right? And so Lulu jumps up and they give, a pound. And he's like, Lulu Thomas, he was like, you pretty talking nigga. He was like, I heard you rolled up at my niece at this red light, okay? Now, I know you didn't think you was just going to come with your smoothness and be, whisking out my niece. And so he's like, yo, why you didn't tell me? I didn't know. I would have for sure kept driving, all right? And so she's basically like, I'm not his niece, okay? And then Lulu is looking, Carter introduces himself and shakes Camacho's hand as well. And so, Lulu is telling him, like, Carter's into import, export, whatever. And so he starts telling him, and, he's at the top of the food chain. So Carter tells them he's still hungry. Okay, he's like ready to make some short, sweet, non-negotiable arrangement with them. He's got a small music group, and he was like he's been evolving slowly and strategically or whatever, right? And he's interested in maybe doing some things with them, all right, and seeing where it could go. He was like, he knows the talent that Zisa has, and he's carefully curated artists, and all of that kind of stuff to gain, train them and guide them. And he was like, Zisa here is one of them, and she's the cream of the crop. So he was like, if they want to do a song with her, whatever, he sees the operation they have here, and that, it's kind of a long-term lucrative deal that she deserves, right? And so he was like, I know Lulu from Lanes or whatever and all the other hot spots that we hit. So I propose that we do something that will, be equitable, all right, on both sides for a single deal. Together they could develop, produce, and, release a track for Zisa. So Camacho, is basically looking because he like, we'll see how this field tests the waters or whatever, right? And Camacho is like hitting Lulu and looking. So he's like, is he done? And, Carter's like, I'm done, motherfucker. All right, don't get it twisted. Like, and Camacho talking about something. So you said a single deal that doesn't deserve, guarantee that Zisa stays with us. And then, Carter looking, and he like, Crown Camacho? And he was like, he was like, Macho Charm, any relation to Hector? He said, me and him, that motherfucker, we used to get some wild and have some wild nights. And so Camacho trying to really come buff and talk some shit here. He like, this ain't got shit to do with no Hector, right? And so Carter says to him, look, man, we could build something into a deal or whatever the case may be. Certain thresholds could get cleared. We could sign to the label. And Lulu is basically like, yeah, I'm with it, done, and gives him a handshake, and Camacho's like, what the fuck, under his breath, right? And then he go and he shakes Isa's hand too, and he was like, I said it's on. And Carter basically says, like Farrakhan. So I don't know if this is a good move by Lulu or not, y'all. Okay, I guess time will tell. We still seeing Kanan and Famous out here trying to sell these tapes. Nobody want to be bothered. Nobody want these damn mixtapes. And at this point, we got the cops coming up, harassing them or whatever the case may be, throwing them up against the wall, checking them. They like, what rapper are you? We never heard of you. What's your rap name? Famous talking about Famous. They laughing. They like, Famous the rapper, And they was like, that's one of the best rapper names we ever heard. So they was like, you supposed to have a license to sell anything on the street, that whole thing. But they was like, since you ain't doing too much selling any damn way, we gonna go ahead and let you go. And they like, good luck with that career, and basically laughing at him. All right. So I don't think Famous could even give these damn tapes for free if he wanted to. Okay. And so Marvin basically goes see the lawyer. Now, the lawyer says he found Tony. He says she's engaged to some dentist. Marvin talking about she always did have pretty teeth and good teeth, okay? And so, excuse me, he also was telling the lawyer, like, well, it didn't work the way you did. When I went there, the counselor was saying that I have to take the class. He was like, yeah, some of them, could go a little bit harder. So I'm assuming Marvin about to pay Tony a little visit. We see that Detective Burke did meet up with Juke, and she do have the information for her mother. She's been back here for a few years. She's divorced twice, no kids, and living in Harlem. I find that to be interesting. You back here all this time. I think the story was that she left to go sing or whatever. I think that didn't work out, and she came back, and you never tried to reach out to your daughter. So yeah, I can understand Juke feeling a way about that. It's going to be interesting to see how she going to come into this and what their relationship is going to be, and what her dynamic is going to be on the show. So we got Detective Howard talking, right? They're letting him know they still ain't got nothing, okay? They really have nothing on Unique at all, but they are still going to mess with him just because they can, right? And they still going to go hard, and they're going to really just try to keep him in the loop and let him know, everything that's going on. They have him on camera at the McDonald's. They're seeing his story checks through. But at the end of the day, like I said, they can't classify any lead or nothing, but they are still going to try to make his life miserable. You know why? Because they don't need a damn reason, right? Just fuck him. And they also say it could have been a damn crackhead high as a kite for all they know. And so, of course, Detective Howard is saying he's sorry that he can't, help them with anything, because, of course, he's still playing the memory loss game. And they're saying that they just wanted to let him know where things stand. And he's basically like, thanks, fellas, I appreciate y'all. And when he's leaving out, one of the guys is basically saying, that's an NYPD Hall of Famer. And, of course, they are just going to go hard for him. So now we got Unique, baby mother going in. She's pissed. She don't want him in her house no more. She's saying how long he gonna be here. And he's basically like, look, you ain't have no damn problem. When I was paying your bills, when I was buying you different shit, you was loving it then, right? And she didn't have nothing to say. We have Kanan come home, and Rock is like, yo, where was you? You can't leave me just worried. He was like, I was with Famous. So he's like, Ma, come on, stop with the fake concern, because he already know his mama don't just sit around concerned, okay? He's like, what's the real deal? What's going on here? And this is the part of Rock that I don't like. Yes, she's a great businesswoman, but the part where she plays with her damn son irritates the hell out of me. Oh, that cop, that same cop or whatever the case may be. He's making me a little worried, right? And then, first she's saying it's nothing, and then he's like, something is up, spit it out or whatever. And finally it's like, that cop, that cop with her little cigarette in her hand playing with it, just that crazy cop. He's like, Howard. She's like, yeah, somehow, some way his brain is all twisted up and he's talking crazy. He's talking some crazy ass nonsense that don't make no sense. And he's possibly going to come up to you and be talking shit. So I just want to give you a heads up. And she's like, it might not be nothing at all. He may not say nothing at all, but if he does, then you would know. And so, that he's one of them crazy police people that got his heads into. And he's like, yo, I thought you said he didn't remember nothing. He didn't remember my face. What is this? And of course, she telling him to calm down. And she's like, you're good, baby, I got you, and giving him this hug or whatever. And it's like, you don't have him, Rock. You know she gonna continue to lie. So now I guess if Detective Howard does approach him, he's supposed to just think that he's crazy and deranged when he's telling him, I'm your damn father. Okay, I'm just like, girl, whatever. That's what your damn game plan is, Rock. Like, you slip into with that part, as smart as you could be when it comes to other parts. So, you know, back when Unique, his baby mother, was telling him that she saw Rock in the store, and he was like, what was she talking about? And she was like, she ain't talking about nothing, right? But she gave her this look and it scared her or whatever, right? She's real scared for them, and he was telling them that they're gonna be okay. You know, Marvin comes and says that he can't say 100% that Scrap is a a snitch or whatever, right? He really don't have no proof. He can't tell that by the way he was talking. And so she's still going on that saying this person said he was at the precinct. And Lulu was like, well, if that's the case, why the hell you even asked us anything? And Lulu says he won't do it, and he leaves. Excuse me. So Unique basically goes see Dean, right? Dean, man, is throwing him up against the wall, checking him and all of that, telling him he can't come in. And he's like, who the hell are you? And he was like, yeah, you need to get some new security because I could put that little nigga in my pocket, right? He better put some respect on my name. Everybody supposed to know who I am. You must not know who I am. And Dean basically says, we know who you are, but we just don't care, right? And he tells him to let him go, and he does let him in. And so, you know, he tells Unique, you're not a safe investment anymore, right? Not now and not any time in the future. And Nick is basically telling Dean, like, I didn't shoot that cop. And he was like, it really does not matter because from the information that he's getting, according to his sources, Unique is still a person of interest. And he's basically like, you know, Dean says Rock and the Columbia supplier got the streets on lock, all right? They have already cornered Unique's old spot. So he was like, there's no room for competition, not for him or Unique, all right? And Unique says that he's going to win regardless and that he would have just, like, you know, liked to have Dean's support in this, that he's not going to give up the fight. And he was like, I've never came to you and asked you for anything. So basically, Dean says desperation does not sue him. And Unique really gets pissed off then, you know, tells Dean that he's going to regret this, starts yelling and screaming, throwing damn chairs. I said, yo, Unique, you need to calm down, okay? Coming up in here throwing chairs. And Dean is just laughing with Grandma as he's walking away, okay? But I don't think Dean is going to be laughing when he getting that ass, or is it going to be Unique to getting his ass? That's going to be the question. And so then we get Jessica, you know, 1 minute she's messing around with Lulu on the couch for whatever reason, right? And then she basically ends up telling him, you know, that she is going to be moving to LA, right? Crown got her this job. He like, Crown got you this job. She like, yeah, don't blame him and all this stuff. And she says that she's leaving tomorrow. And basically Lou asks her, like, what about Famous? So you just was going to leave your brother high and dry? And she's saying that, you know, she got to look out for her because nobody else is looking out for her. And Lou basically says, get the fuck out of my studio. And I couldn't agree anymore, okay? Get the fuck out his studio. Take your raggedy ass to damn, you know, LA, if you can make it there, because her ass is for the streets anyway, and nobody gives a damn if she goes. And honestly, I would have preferred if she would have took damn Famous with her. Now, moving on from that, I'm sorry, but I do not like that chick at all. You know, we get Juke. She's waiting outside the mama's house. You know, we do see her come out. She come down the stairs. She got some car waiting for her. Now, I don't know if she looked across the street and looked dead in Juke's face and did not recognize her, or if she never really even got a chance to look, and, you know, Juke was just looking down at the picture, then looking back at her, and we see her getting inside the car and she go driving off. So she definitely got the right spot, okay? That is her mother, and that's where she's living at. So we then see Unique go to where the tailor shop was at, and he sees that everything is all broke up and messed up in there, whatever. They done ransacked that place, you know, and he's feeling like the whole world is just came down on him at this point, right? And Warrell comes in, and Unique is like, look what they did to me. Look what they did to us. And he basically tells Warrell, like, you know, I need you back. I need the team back. We got to get everything in order and all of this stuff. And Warrell is telling him, I can't rock with you this time. You know, I can't rock with you this time. I've rocked with you in the past, but it's basically, you know what I'm saying, over. I'm on some other shit. This is a different opportunity. And he was like, you know, that's just what it is. And Unique is like, oh, an opportunity with Rock. He was like, wow, you know what I'm saying, gonna play me like that. And so Unique says, you know, because he was telling him, like, maybe it's time that you left or whatever. It's really not nothing left here for you. And Unique says to him, nah, man, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be right here. Okay? He going to be right here no matter what. So we then had, Famous and his mom outside saying bye to Jessica. Nobody cares. Okay, she gives her mom a hug and says she gonna come back and visit. Mama was like, nah, don't do that. Okay, stay your ass gone. And then when she's hugging Famous, she tells him not to give up. He said, I ain't gonna give up. I was doing it with you and I'll do it without you or whatever. I'm gonna keep doing it, right? And that he's gonna blow up without her. And she was like, good, I want you to blow up. And she gives him a hug. So now when Kanan walks up, he's like, oh, she's on her way to the airport. And he's like, who gives a fuck? But you could tell that you know what I'm saying, kind of hurt his feelings. So then we get to the ends of the episode, y'all, and Scrappy is excited. He's in the back of the car. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all finally giving me this new opportunity. He's thinking this is a new job. He's like, oh, this is the new spot. Yo, this shit look fly. This is going to work. They go ahead and they go in the building and he says, I likes. Yeah. Freaking Lulu is all turning his head away. Marvin talking about some, yeah, right. The smelling here is good or whatever. Next thing you know, Rock comes up behind him and he's like, oh no, don't, or something like that. And she basically shoots and he's on the floor and we hear Kanan narrating saying, sometimes it ain't nothing to say. So you just shut the hell up, right? And that broke my heart, y'all. That broke my heart. I'm sorry. I don't know for sure that Scrappy was a stitch, okay? A snitch. Y'all know what I mean. Put it in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. Was Rock right in this? And is this going to be the ends of their problems? I highly doubt it because I'm pretty sure Scrappy mama going to come looking for him, honey. And if she was the snitch, and it was the other way around and they killed her, I'm sure that he was going to come looking for her. So I feel like that got to be a 2-for-1 now. And she going to have to handle his mama too. And I just don't know, y'all, what the heck is going to happen. But R.I.P. Okay, Scrappy. R.I.P. Scrappy, because I don't know that you was a snitch, okay? I was still holding out hope, and I just wish that he would have kept it real with them on that part, because maybe it was more to the story. Maybe it wasn't. I just feel like they left it open. They did not really make it a definite thing that he was. And I also feel like instead of Rock sitting playing damn games and being like, oh, Marvin, go talk to him, fill it out, she should have went directly and freaking talk to him herself. But that is my opinion on that. Overall, this was a good episode, you guys. This video is longer than I wanted it to be, but I was trying to make sure I had everything on point for this one because I got to apologize to y'all last week, okay? Some things was left out. Some things was mixed up because I was on a high with P Valley. I was tired and everything. So nonetheless, you guys, put it in the comments. Let's discuss. Tell me what you thinking about this episode. You liked it, you didn't like it. Do you think she was right? Do you think Detective Howard is making the right damn moves? You know what I'm saying? Detective Burke did tell, Juke she was going to owe her. So which way is she going to be going now? Put it in the comments. Let's discuss all of this. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Put some flames up. Let me know you came by. Give me a wave. Say hey. All that good stuff. Till next time. Toodaloo.